Hello friends, a very warm welcome. I am back with my next jQuery tutorial. It's the tutorial number 6. In the last tutorial, we learned about the DOM manipulation. Let's see what we will learn in this tutorial. What is jQuery traversing, ancestors, descendants, siblings, filtering. What is jQuery traversing? jQuery traversing is used to find HTML elements based on their relation to other elements. Starting with one selection, reach the desired element. Here you can see a pictorial representation of hierarchy. Here you see there is a parent div tag. Then UL is a child of div tag. Then UL tag has two children, one li on the left, other li on the right. So here you see the div element is the parent of UL and an ancestor of everything inside of it. The UL element is the parent of both li elements and a child of div element. The two li elements are siblings, children of UL and descendants of div. Let's discuss jQuery ancestors. An ancestor is a parent, grandparent, great-grandparent, and so on. With jQuery, you can traverse up the DOM tree to find ancestors of an element. The first ancestor we're going to look at is the parent jQuery method. This returns the immediate parent element of the selected element. Let's see how it works in a code. This is my code. I have two headings. Then I have a div. Inside the div, this div is the parent div. Then inside it I have this div. Then inside this div I have a span, a table. Within the parent div I have two divs, this and this. Both of these divs have a table inside them. In addition to two divs, I have two paragraphs and an unordered list as well. Let's see how my page looks. This is how my page looks. This, the outer border that you see, this is the parent div. The red area, the area bounded by red border is the child div number 1. The area bounded by border green is the child div 2. Both of these divs have a table inside them. Then this parent div also has two paragraphs and an unordered list. And there you have a button. Now let's see how parent method is useful. Let's say on the click of the button, I want to change the color of the parent of this div. That is this div. I mean the parent of this div is this div. So I need to change the color of this, background color of this div. What I'll do is I'll select this div via selector, then I'll select its parent, that's this div, then I'll apply CSS background color to it, an aqua color. Now let's see how it works. When I click this button, see the outer div, that's the parent, gets aqua background color. This child div's parent, that's this div, gets a background color. The next method is the parents method. The parents JQuery method returns all the ancestors of the selected HTML element. Let's see how this works. Suppose I select this table, copy it, paste it here. So on the click of the button, my table number 1, this gets selected, and I replace it with parents. So as a result, all of its parents up the hierarchy get selected. So let's see what are the parents of this table. This div, then this div, then this body as well. So this CSS color would be applied to this body. Let's see. I save it. I go to my browser. I refresh it. When I click the button, you see the entire page gets a background color because it's the body. So we applied the parents method on the table number 1, and the table number 1 has this outer boundary and the red boundary as its parent, and this red div has the parent div, this black boundary, and this div has a parent, the entire body. So the entire body gets an aqua color. The next method is the parentsUntil. This JQuery method returns all ancestor elements between two given arguments. Now, suppose I need to select the element between this div, that's the parent div, and this table number 1. To do so, I'll have to replace parents with parentsUntil, and here I pass in a parameter, and that would be this div. So now this div, the div number 1, will get an aqua color because it lies between div 1 and table 1. Save it, go back to my browser, I refresh it. When I click the button, there you see this aqua color gets applied to the first div, child, because it lies between this table number 1 and the outer parent div. Now let's see what are jQuery descendants. A descendant is a child, grandchild, great-grandchild, and so on. With jQuery, you can traverse down the DOM tree to find descendants of an element. The first descendant method that we're going to discuss is children method. This jQuery method returns all immediate children of the selected element. To see how it works, we replace parentsUntil with children. Now let's say I want to apply this aqua color to all the children of the parent div1 tag. Let's see how we do it. I copy it, I paste it here. I do not need to pass any parameter. So now all the immediate children of div1 element get an aqua background color. I save it, I go to my browser, I refresh it, and let's see what happens when I click this button. There you go. This parent tag has these two divs as children, then these two paragraphs, and this unordered list. So in all 5 children, all of these children get an aqua background color. The next method is the find method. The find jQuery method returns descendant elements of the selected element. Let's see how find works. I replace children method with find. Here I'll have to pass a parameter identifying a specific child of this parent div. Suppose I only need to apply a background color to these 2 paragraphs. So I'll have to type in P here. As a result, background aqua color would be applied to these 2P elements that are children of the outer parent div element. I save it, I go to the browser, I refresh it. When I click this button, there you see the 2 paragraphs get an aqua background color. The next topic that we are going to discuss is jQuery siblings. The first method is siblings method. The siblings jQuery method returns all sibling elements of the selected element. Let's see how it works. I replace find with siblings. Let's say I want to apply a background color to all the siblings of div2. I copy it, I replace div1 with table div2. I do not need any parameter. I save it, go to the browser, I refresh it. When I click it, now when I click it, I see that all the siblings of div2 element get a background aqua color. The first div, the 2 paragraphs, and an unordered list all get the color, as they happen to be the siblings of div2. Now the next method is next jQuery method. it returns the next sibling element of the selected element. I replace siblings with next. Suppose I need to apply a background color to the next sibling of table div 1. I copy it, I replace table div 2 with table div 1. Now let's see what happens. I save it, I go to my browser, I refresh it. Now when I click it, I see that the div 2 gets a background color as it is the next sibling of div 1. Now the next method is the nextAll method. The nextAll jQuery method returns all next sibling elements of the selected element. Let's see how we work with it. Let's say I want to apply a background color to all the next siblings of table div 2. I copy it, I replace table div 1 with table div 2 and next with nextAll. Now what are the elements that are siblings of table div 2, next siblings of table div 2? Those are two paragraphs and this unordered list. These elements should get background color. I save it, I go to my browser, I refresh it, and when I click this button, what I see is that these three elements get a background color as they happen to be the next siblings of div 2. Now the next method is the nextUntil method. This jQuery method returns all next sibling elements between two given arguments. Let's say I want to give a background color to all the elements that lie between table div 1 and the unordered list. Now that happen to be this table div 2 and these two paragraphs. I need to give these elements a background color. How do I do so? Let's see. I copy table div 1, replace table div 2 with table div 1. I replace nextAll with nextUntil. Here I'll have to pass a parameter. That would be UL. That's the unordered list. Let's see, I save it, I go to browser, I refresh it. When I click here, what I see is that all the elements between div 1 and the unordered list get a background color. Now remember one thing, that the prev, prevAll and prevUntil methods work just like above methods. They work on all the previous elements to the element selected. The next topic that we are going to discuss is jQuery filters. jQuery filtering helps you to filter out the desired HTML elements. The first method is the first method. The first jQuery method returns the first element of the selected elements. Let's see how it works. I go to my code. Let's say I need to color the first paragraph. How do I do so? I simply replace this with T and nextUntil with first. I don't need to pass any parameter. What this would do is that it will give a background color to the first paragraph. I save it, I go to the browser, I refresh it. Now when I click this button, what I see is that the first paragraph gets an aqua background color. The next method is the last method. The last jQuery method returns the last element of the selected elements. I replace first with last. This code will give a background color to the last P element. I save it. I go to my browser, I refresh it. When I click this button, what I see is that the last paragraph gets a background color. Now, the next method is the EQ method. That's the equal method. The EQ jQuery method returns an element with a specific index number of the selected elements. Now I replace last with EQ method, and suppose I have 3 divs in my code, the parent div and its 2 children. So let's say I want to give a color to the first child of div 1, that's this div. How do I do it? I simply replace P with div, and here I type in 1. By doing so, I will be selecting this div. Zeroth index represents the first div and 1 index represents the second div, and if I type 2 here, then it would represent the third div. Now since we have 1 here, we will be applying a background color to this second div. I save it, go to my browser, refresh it, and when I click it, I see that this second div gets a background color. Now let's see, when I replace it with 0 and go to my browser and refresh it, and I click here, what I see is that a background color is applied to the outer div, that's the first div. And if I type 2 here and save it, now when I click it, I see that the last div, the third div, gets selected. The next method is the filter method. The filter jQuery method lets you select elements matching a specific criteria. Let's see how filter method works. I replace EQ with filter and div with P. Let's say I want to select a paragraph that has a class para2. I have to pass a parameter for selecting that particular paragraph, and that would be the class name dot para2. I save it, I go to my browser, I refresh it. Now when I click here, what I see is the second paragraph that has a class para2 gets a background color. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please subscribe, like, and comment. Hope to see you in the next tutorial. Until then, enjoy and practice more. Thank you.